Hey, what's up? This is the Grey Warden, and the video I'm going to do is the Philadelphia Eagles have released Desean Jackson, and Desean Jackson is a free agent. Now that he's a free agent, what did I think? What team that should be able to go after him? You know, you talking about a team like San Francisco 49ers. They are a team, that if there's any team that Desean Jackson should be able to go to, it would be San Francisco. And besides, it's kind of close to where he lived, but he's more close to the Bay Area, which is close to Oakland. So it'd be surprised how the Raiders may end up. You pick Raiders up in there because the Raiders was pursuing Desean Jackson, but they did not want to give up. They weren't going to use any of their trade picks. They only used one of their trade picks. One of their draft picks to get Matt Shaw. And for me, I know for a while, I know Al Davis would have most likely got Desean Jackson and Michael Vick. But Desean Jackson's a free agent. He's out there in the market. If there's any team if Desean Jackson want to go to a winning team, it would be San Francisco. I think he could get a Super Bowl ring with San Francisco. He definitely could get a Super Bowl ring with San Francisco. Make it more competitive now that they meet with Seattle. It would be more, it gives San Fran a lot of boosts. They'd definitely be ready to reckon with. They'd be able to do some damage to a lot of teams, even Seattle. Even though they got a good defense, but Desean Jackson is a very vertical, deep threat receiver. Or he could go to the Oakland Raiders. Now, the Raiders is, even though they're still rebuilding, but they can be, they get Desean Jackson. I do see Oakland being in a playoff contender. It's not as far off as some of the players. I mean, not the players, but some of the NFL analysts are saying that maybe the Raiders, maybe 2 or 3 years, but that I don't think so. I think once the Raiders get Desean Jackson, because right now they already got Jones, and they just signed Maurice Jones-Drew as a running back. You talking about McFadden and Darren McFadden and Maurice Jones-Drew? That's a dangerous backfield for Oakland. I see Oakland getting into the playoff. I really do. I really think they're going to shock a lot of teams. Let me see this. I do see them shocking a lot of teams. They make them very more competitive in the AFC West. You know what I mean? So they pretty much got some good weapons on defense and in the draft. Even if they don't go after, if they don't get signed Desean Jackson, Oakland should most likely they may end up getting Sammy Watkins if he's still there. But I think if Oakland will get Sammy Watkins or Clowney. You know what I mean? I think they'd be able to get him as a defense. The Raiders need to build up on that defensive scheme. They need to build up on that defense. Dennis Allen supposed to be a defensive mind coach, because if the Raiders don't do good this season, you can say very well goodbye to Reggie McKenzie and Dennis Allen, because those two girlies will be out of Oaktown, and while Oakland probably will be up in LA, but I don't know, just speculation. But it depends if Oakland can't get nothing on paper to stay in Oakland. But I would like to see them stay in Oakland, because that is the birthplace of the Raiders. That is a totally birthplace. People say, well, Raiders more successful with Los Angeles. No, not really. It wasn't. The Oakland Raiders was more successful than Los Angeles. They had way higher winning percentage with Oakland than LA. Now, some of you young people probably wouldn't know that. You got to learn the history of the Raiders business, the history of Oakland. You know what I mean? I go as far back. Remember Jack Tatum, George Atkinson, Willie Brown. You know what I mean? Ben Davis. Man, that was a good Art Shell, Gene Upshaw. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you one thing: there's anybody. So, like I said, if the Raiders get Desean Jackson, I'm gonna tell you something. with that offense, and they just sign a good offense and they get a good offensive line. You know what I mean? If they get Desean Jackson, don't get Sammy Watkins. Hey, let's look at the offensive line. They can build up that front for Matt Shaw, because right now Reggie McKenzie and Dennis Allen, they need to get something going, because this is the season. If they don't get if nothing is, they don't get nothing done, you can pretty much say goodbye to the Reggie, Regina, and Dennis Allen. Another freaking okay. Excuse me, that was my phone. But anyway, you know what I mean. So if they get Dennis, they had to prove something. Something gonna have to be done. So if letting up to me, I would say the Raiders should go and get Desean Jackson, man. And get a defensive line, get Clowney. If he's there, get him. Hey, because this is it. The Raiders got to do something right now. Not 2 or 3 years from now. I don't think so. And to be truthfully honest, I don't think Dennis Allen is a good coach. And I will do a video soon about Reggie McKenzie. I believe is turning the Raiders organization to a Green Bay look. And it's not looking like Al Davis, you know what I mean. But Reggie McKenzie did good, pretty much good things. But you had Hugh Jackson who went 8-8. Then you let go Hugh, and you bring in a guy who went 4-12, not one time, but Dennis did it 2 times. He pretty much gave us a repeat. Gave the Raiders a repeat, may I add. But anyway, Desean Jackson's available. He could be a good threat. Because I'm telling you now, I don't think Denver would get him, but you'd be surprised, man. I don't think Denver may have that money. Denver won't want to take that money. Only one got a lot of that money to get there. It could be Cleveland Browns, Oakland Raiders, San Francisco 49ers. I'm surprised Tom Brady not getting on, the Patriots not getting on it. You know what I mean? You'd be surprised. I may wake up the next day that the Patriots got it. That's Super Bowl bound for New England. Period. But other than that, I think Raiders should go out to get Desean Jackson. Desean Jackson's a free agent. And right now, he hasn't been re-signed. So we'll see how it's going to go. And as far as the Eagles, I don't know, man. I don't think they're going to be as... I don't see them... there's so much speculation about what Desean... I get this about Desean Jackson supposed to have been in some type of game. Maybe why they released him. But anyway, this is the Grey Warden signing off. And until next time. And I'll come back and do a video on... what I think of Reggie McKenzie doing, try to do with the Raiders' image. This coffee tastes pretty good too.